Hi, today we're going to show you how to clean fork seals. There's 3 different ways I'm going to show you. It just depends on what you've got available as far as tools. Okay, these are the tools that you need to do this job. You don't need all of these to do it one particular way, but because I'm going to show you 3 different ways, I've got them all laid out here. We've got a torque wrench to retension your fork leg, feeler gauge we're going to use to clean out the seals, 4mm Allen key to remove one of the fork guards, 10mm socket, flat blade screwdriver, 10mm T-bar. This is the last way I'm going to show you, which is a very easy and effective way, and some contact cleaner. Okay, this is the first way I'm going to show you how to clean out a fork seal. This is just using the set of feeler gauges, 0.1 of a mil, flat blade screwdriver and a 4mm Allen key. So we'll start by just removing the fork guard. I always use a ball-ended Allen key. It just makes it easy for difficult places to get into, like this Allen key down here. It lets you work at an angle. It doesn't have to be dead straight like most of your normal Allen T-bars. Just remove that fork guard. Just give the fork leg a little bit of a clean. Okay, while you're cleaning it, just have a look in case you have a pit mark in the fork, which is going to cut the seal. So just feel around, have a look around, because if you have got a pit mark in there and it's going to cut the seal, cleaning it's not going to fix it. It's clearly cut the seal and you're going to have to replace it and smooth out the cut mark. Okay, once we've cleaned it, had an inspection, just run your hand up and down it a few times. Can't feel anything in there. Get your flat blade screwdriver, pop your dust seal down, okay, and then your fork seal's underneath that. So that's not your fork seal, that's just another ring there to protect the fork seal. When you clean the fork dust seal out, just push it to one side and spray your contact cleaner in, and it lets the dust by and run down. Otherwise you're just spraying it in there and it's filling up. I use a 0.1 of a mil feeler gauge. Just put that in, slip it in between the seal and the fork leg, put it on a 45 angle and just rotate it around just gently. The reason you put it on the 45 is, see it's caught some dirt. That dirt there was underneath this seal, so you might have noticed this seal was weeping. Okay, so you put it on the 45 and then roll it this way so that the dirt goes there and then it slides down. You don't want to push it back up into the fork leg. Okay, so you can do it this way and push it all the way around, which is why we've removed the fork guard, just so you can get it all the way around. So the reason I took the fork guard off is to show you the other way. You can persevere with that way and the fork leg's on, it's just difficult. The other way is you still use your feeler gauge on the 45, but what you do is you just get your 10mm T-bar, loosen off the fork pinch bolts. So if you do it this way, you can leave that fork guard on. You slip your feeler gauge in at the back where it's not in the road of the fork guard, hold on the 45 again, and twist the fork around like that. And then pop it out. We've got a little bit more dirt out of it doing it that way. So there's 2 ways you can do it. It all depends what's easier, whether you think it's easier to take the fork guard off and work around, or if you think it's easier to loosen off the pinch bolts and spin the fork leg around. When you spin the fork leg back around into its right place, just make sure you got your air bleed screw in the right position so you can get your screwdriver down to bleed the forks. Make sure your forks are still located in the same spot. So just nip it up lightly so it stays in the same height as the other fork leg. And then get your tension wrench. Just look in your manual to what the recommended torque is. And the reason why we torque these up is so that we don't crush the outer tube in this area where it clamps, because you can actually crush it by over tightening it. And then when you over tighten it and it's slightly smaller in this area, the bushes go through freely here, which is on the other end of this fork tube. And it has to go through a tight spot and then it loosens again. And what you're effectively doing is just wearing out your bushes. And once your bushes wear out, these fork legs start flopping around, and then you find that you do seals all the time. So that's the first two ways of cleaning a fork seal. Once you've cleaned it out, give it another final spray. The fork leg another wipe. You can, if you have compressed air, you can blow compressed air up there and clean it out. It just helps, but it's not necessary. Okay, so I'm just slipping that back on. Now I'll just, while that fork guard's off, I'll show you the third and final way. It's using this Rhino fork seal cleaner. Handy thing to have in your backpack, or what I like about it is because it's plastic and it's made round, it has some spring to it. Just like to clip it on a fork leg. When you go for your trail bike ride, you've always got it. If you go with a group of guys, there's always someone that's going to have a leaky or weaky fork seal. And this tool, the way it's shaped, you notice that I put the feeler gauge on the 45. Well, this is made on a 45. There's an up and a down on it. Keep the dust seal down. So we've got up. You just put it in, rotate it in lightly, just spin it around. It's got some good finger grips there to just spin it around, just give it two laps and then slide it out. And you can see that's actually pulled a little more dirt out. So that's a handy tool to have. And it's so much easier. You don't have to take your fork guard off. This will just slip straight in. I do like to take the fork guard off anyway, just to make sure that there's no pit marks in your fork. Okay, once you're done, just install the dust seal again, nice and tight. And we have some nice clean fork seals.